My stepdaughter begged to work as our maid. I finally learned the horrifying reason she had no choice but to stay. My stepdaughter Laurel showed up at our door last Tuesday, asking if she could move back in and work as our housekeeper. She's 28 and has her own apartment across town, so this came out of nowhere. Me and her dad Robert have been married for 6 years, and Laurel was already 22 when we met, so we never had that whole raising her together thing. She was always polite but distant at family dinners, barely talked unless someone asked her something directly. Robert told me her mom walked out when she was 7 and never came back, just left a note saying she wasn't cut out for motherhood. Tuesday morning, Laurel stood at our door with 2 suitcases and this practice speech about how she wanted to be useful to our family. She said she'd clean, cook, do laundry, grocery shop, anything we needed. She didn't want a salary, just room and board. Robert was confused and asked if she lost her job at the library. She said no, but she was quitting because the other librarians were mean to her. I asked what they did, and she just looked at the floor and said they made fun of how she organized books wrong and ate lunch alone. Robert immediately said yes, she could stay and figure things out. I pulled him aside and said this felt wrong, like she was running from something bigger. He said she just needed stability, and we had the space. Laurel moved into the guest room and immediately started doing everything. She'd wake up at 5 a.m. to make Robert's breakfast before work. She'd scrub the kitchen floor twice a day. She'd reorganize closets that didn't need organizing. When I told her she didn't have to do all this, she literally started crying and begging me not to send her away. That's when I knew something was really messed up. I started asking gentle questions while she folded laundry. Turns out her roommate Katie had been stealing from her for months, taking money from her purse, using her credit card for online shopping, eating all her food, then calling her selfish when she complained. Laurel never stood up to her because Katie was the only person who'd agreed to be her roommate after 3 others backed out. At work, her supervisor June would give her the worst shifts and tell everyone Laurel was too stupid to handle regular duties. When Laurel tried to report it, June convinced HR that Laurel was making things up for attention. The breaking point came when Katie brought her boyfriend over, and they took over Laurel's bedroom for a week, making her sleep on the couch in her own apartment. When she finally asked them to leave, Katie threatened to tell everyone at Laurel's job that she was unstable and dangerous. Laurel believed her because the same thing happened at her last 2 jobs. People would be nice at first, then slowly start taking advantage when they realized she wouldn't fight back. She told me she figured being our maid was safer because we were family and had to keep her. That broke my heart. I asked why she thought she deserved this treatment, and she said her mom leaving proved she wasn't worth staying for. So why would anyone else treat her better? Robert overheard this conversation, and I saw him crying in our bedroom later. He blamed himself for not protecting her from feeling this way. We had a family meeting the next day. Robert told Laurel she was staying with us, but not as a maid. She was family, and family doesn't serve each other. She started crying, saying she didn't know how to just exist without earning her place. I told her existing was enough. Robert got her into therapy with someone who specializes in abandonment trauma. We went to the apartment with her to get her stuff, and Katie had already sold half of it. Robert wanted to call the police, but Laurel begged him not to make a scene. We just packed what was left and left Katie a check for Laurel's half of the lease termination fee. Laurel's been with us for 3 months now. She still tries to clean when she's anxious, but we redirect her to puzzles or watching movies with us. She started a new job at a small bookstore where the owner Pearl treats her like a granddaughter. Last week she laughed at Robert's terrible joke, and it was the first time I'd heard her really laugh. She still has bad days where she asks if she's being too much trouble, and we have to remind her that family isn't trouble. Her therapist says she's making progress, but it'll take time to undo 21 years of believing she was abandoned because she wasn't good enough. Robert's been reading books about reparenting adult children and leaves little notes in her lunch saying things like "proud of you" and "you belong here." Yesterday she hugged me for the first time without apologizing after. It felt like progress.